MASH, weeknights at
10 o'clock. Yes, I think I can fit that into my schedule.
CKND First News with Brian Swain, Stan Kubicek, and Joe Pascucci.
Good evening. A severe storm struck Greater Winnipeg around 7 o'clock this evening, knocking out power lines, flooding streets, and causing very heavy property damage to several buildings. Now, there are a number of reports of funnel clouds touching down in areas of southeast Winnipeg. The Weather Office says they received several telephone calls from residents in the Fort Garry area saying they spotted funnel clouds. Further details from Warren Priest.
The brunt of the storm was borne by the south end of the city. There were reports of 3 funnel clouds touching down, causing considerable property damage. Tom Bozick saw a funnel cloud touch down in front of his Waller Street home in Fort Garry.
I looked up into the sky as it was approaching. I saw a small funnel cloud originating in that area over there. It went up and it came down, and then it came down a second time.
A house on Waller Street had part of its roof torn off and its backyard fence blown over. Close by Ralph Maybank School suffered some roof damage, with bits of roofing material landing in neighboring yards. Bozick says it was eerie watching the funnel cloud touch down.
As it originated, all it was just a matter of low gray clouds, and then it just was a small gray cloud just started swirling, and it went into a funnel, and it was like a screeching, whistling sound, I guess. And then stuff just like, the wind came up and everything just shot up into it.
The Versatile plant had a wall blown in by the storm, and a neighboring Federal Pioneer building sustained severe damage to its roof as well as inside. Onaqua Road apartment also suffered roof damage. It'll be some time yet before the cost of the storm in property, tree, and other damages added up. Warren Priest, CKND First News.
Manitoba Hydro reports that a number of areas in the city were without power for 10 to 20 minutes. One section of St. Vital, including CKND Television, experienced a power interruption of approximately 2 hours. Now, our Weather Eye guy, Stan Kubicek, is with us. What is the situation at the moment? Where is it headed? And are we going to get any more of it?
What the situation now is, Brian, I've been in touch with the Environment Canada people, and they say the weather is unstable. We're not going to get any lightning or thunderstorms anymore this evening. However, probably light rain for the rest of the evening. The center of the disturbance is just approaching Kenora right now. Already started to dissipate, so it's not as strong as it was when it came through South Winnipeg. The entire city did get its share of rain. We could get up to 30 millimeters before the whole disturbance moves through, but the actual storm center was more in South Winnipeg, as you've just reported.
And as you say, it is dissipating and headed
north.
Yeah,
unstable light rain for the rest of the night. Should start clearing about 11 o'clock, 12 noon tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Stan, of course, we'll have more on the weather later on in CKND First News. Moving on to other stories in the news tonight, residents in West Winnipeg once again have access to emergency health care at night. The Grace Hospital's emergency wing shut down on Friday after 4 doctors resigned. 3 of them have since agreed to fill in until permanent replacements can be found. However, as Donna Friesen reports, hospital officials can't guarantee the weekend shutdown will be the last.
The emergency department at the Grace Hospital reached a crisis point Friday after 4 doctors did not renew their contracts. With a normal staff of 10 physicians severely reduced, hospital administration didn't want to risk opening.
The physicians who resigned didn't, I don't think, anticipate that the emergency department would have to shut, and they had expressed their intention to try to fill in if it was all possible for the sake of the department. At the same time, it was well understood and expressed by them that the working conditions could lead potentially to an unsafe working environment.
They were reluctant to work extended shifts with no backup doctors available. Since Friday, 4 doctors have been found to fill in on a part-time basis, and 3 of the 4 who resigned have agreed to stay on for a few months. That's how long it's expected to take to find replacements.
There is difficulty in being able to give prospective emergency physicians a guarantee that the conditions that apply here are equal to those that would be found, for example, in other emergency departments in the city, outside the province, or in other areas in medicine which might guarantee them equal remuneration with much less stress.
The government set starting rate for community hospitals like the Grace is $28.46 an hour. Teaching hospitals like St. Boniface and the Health Sciences Center pay over $50 an hour. Low wages and high stress have led to the resignation of some 24 community hospital emergency room doctors in Winnipeg in the past year. But it was only the Grace which was hit by 4 at once, forcing the shutdown. Patients will again be accepted here effective immediately, but hospital officials call it a fragile staffing arrangement, one that will be monitored on a day-to-day basis, and one that could fall apart easily, once again leaving the Westwood area with no emergency facilities. Donna Friesen, CKND First News.
Letter carriers across the country were back at work today, including those fired by Canada Post last week. The union had said it would sign no agreement until all were reinstated. But it looks as though Canada Post is getting the last word on the matter. Instead of firing, it's suspending the workers without pay. Daryl Neufeld has those details.
It feels absolutely great.
After a week off the job, Wayne Woods is glad to be back. He's one of 6 Winnipeg letter carriers that Canada Post fired after incidents on the picket line. They were reinstated as part of the settlement reached on the weekend. But his return may be short-lived. This morning, he was handed a letter that says he's being suspended without pay. It says his case is being reviewed, and he'll be notified when the suspension begins and how long it'll last.
I feel cheated that we've been used as bargaining tools, and now once the bargaining's over, now it's the suspensions come on. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair labor practice.
Wood says Canada Post is just saving face, using the suspensions to make it look as if the firings were justified, an allegation denied by Canada Post.
As I've said all along, that the corporation follows normal disciplinary action. We followed our normal procedures, as we would under any other circumstance, and we did so in this instance.
With the letter carriers dispute basically over now, Canada Post's attention will soon turn to the inside postal workers. That union's contract expired last September, and they'll be in a legal strike position at the end of August.
We're hoping we can negotiate a settlement without a strike, but this time it does not look very optimistic.
In fact, Dale Clark says there's been no progress towards resolving the main issue, job security. Canada Post wants the right to lay off workers and hire casual employees. If it comes down to a strike, Clark warns against the use of strike breakers, which sparked violence in the letter carriers dispute and had limited success in moving the mail.
The government, the Tories, are trying to provoke a postal strike and then try to get tough as a way of taking the public's minds off some of their other problems they've got. Hopefully they'll see the error in that, because it didn't work with the letter carriers very well.
Traditionally, the inside workers are the most militant postal employees. The last time that union went on strike 6 years ago, the post office shut down for 6 weeks. Daryl Neufeld, CKND First News.